We will give you $25,000 from company A and $25,000 from company B, and the whole claim will be paid in total, but it will not be paid double, as you can sometimes do in health insurance. In health insurance, you can actually buy more than 100% coverage. And if that's what you choose to do, and you want to, bet against the odds and buy more health insurance coverage than you need, you can do that. However, you can't overinsure or double insure buildings because the companies will not pay you more than that. It's called concurrent coverages.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Good talking with you.
Yeah. And they thought I didn't know the answer to some of this stuff.
No, that was really my Uncle Ralph. He called in.
Ralph.
Yes.
That's the question I asked Ralph to call on. That's the question I asked Ralph to call on. We've got another one.
All
We're
right.
still going.
Okay.
Insurance Open Line.
Yes, I have a business and I'm looking for a group policy. Do you do that?
I'll let Stuart answer that question for you.
Did you, by chance, see the Saturday show? 5:30. All right, 5:30 to 6:30. Dave Foster, and if you would jot that name down, Dave Foster is just one fantastic guy, and he did an example on Saturday's show with you.
Yes, he did. I saved someone $3,000 or $4,000, $3,000.
How many employees would you have?
There's 17.
Oh, he could save you. He would shop. The example he gave on Saturday, he shopped 24 companies. Was that correct?
24, 27,
21,
something
right
like
in
that.
there. And he went to each one of those companies, shopped it, and got the lowest premium. And he could very well do that for you if that's what you're looking for.
Okay, and just call him up. Can I set an appointment for him to come out to my business?
If you will call him at 530, did you get that down? 9455.
Plus, he's there right now, I believe. Stuart, he's there when we left for the show.
Give him a call right now.
Okay, thank you.
He'll be saving you some money.
Okay, great.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. Insurance Open Line.
Yes. What do you do with open heart surgery for life insurance?
When you, like, what you're saying to me is that you or someone you know has had open heart surgery, and now you want to go out and obtain some life insurance.
That's right. I had open heart surgery 6 months ago. I had a
Okay.
double vein bypass.
Okay, well, let me say this to you. Depending on the extent of it, here's what we would do. We have a number of companies that look at this sort of thing. Now, you're insurable. The question is for how much. Can you be rated as a standard rate, or do we need to insure you at a surcharge, considering the extent of your health problem? Maybe it's no problem. Maybe your doctor has given you a clean bill of health. It was a double bypass, you said?
Double vein bypass, yes.
Okay.
Can you get immediate coverage is my question,
Well,
as opposed to a graded death benefit, which is pretty common on the market today from what I understand.
As far as immediate coverage, you have to remember, as far as immediate coverage goes, I have to answer the question two different ways. First of all, we have a company that will give you coverage as soon as you sign up, and it's guaranteed issue, guaranteed renewable, but it has an incontestability clause. They're only going to give you so much coverage, and they're not going to kick it in for 2 years, and plus it's fairly expensive.
Can I get 100,000?
No, you can only go to 10,000 with them. Now, if you want $100,000 worth of coverage and you want to know how much it's going to cost you, what we have to have is what we call an APS, an attending physician statement. We need to know what the doctor said, who is your primary physician, in reference to the condition which is in question here, the double bypass, and what his current diagnosis or prognosis for you may or may not be. At that point in time, if what you can do to make it simple is, if, for example, if I was the life insurance agent on that account, and I've done this in the past for people, I'll say if you know you've got a condition that may be rateable, which means they may charge you more than they would a person who does not have a previous condition, okay, or a condition in doubt about their health. Bring to me your attending physician statements. That way, the insurance company doesn't send off to them, that doesn't sit on the doctor's desk for 3 weeks, and then finally, we get a decision 6 weeks later on whether or not you can have insurance and how much it would cost and whether it's at standard rates. If you would bring to me or any of my agents a copy of your latest report from your physician, clearly stating the status of your health, we would forward that with the application to the company, and then that would expedite how quickly we would be able to determine what your rate would be.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you for calling. That was a good question. We need to talk about that question just for a minute because they've all been good. Boy, that's good for us. We enjoy answering questions.
And they were four different areas, right?
4 different areas. Hey, we're, just in case anyone's curious, we're licensed life and health, property and casualty, and adjusters in the state of Florida.
An attending physician statement.
APS.
Well,
very important.
What has my doctor got to do with my life insurance? My life.
It's your life, but he's the man who can clearly define for us, Stuart, what the state of your health is. And what happens is if you put down on your life insurance application...
I'm healthy. I'm healthy.
Know, you're healthy. You're healthy.
I'm healthy, fine. I run a lap every month.
Let's say that when I'm filling out your app, they ask all these questions. They say, last time you saw a doctor,
Right.
And they usually go back 5 years. And you sit there and you go, well, I saw one 2 months ago, 6 months ago, and then a year ago. They take all 3 names of those doctors and they send what they call an attending physician report out to him. And they say, sir, please tell us why Stewart was there. And if he was sick, has he fully recovered? If he's not fully recovered, when do you think he will be fully recovered, if ever? How does this impair his health? They then get this back, and they would read those reports the same way a CPA would read a statement of figures on profit loss. They are looking at you from a clinical medical standpoint based on your medical history. And if it's good,
If the doctor gives me a clean bill of health, then you're
Okay.
saying that I had this heart surgery, okay?
okay,
And the doctor says to me, or says to you, that I'm fine, that everything was normal.
good.
Is there a chance I could be standard?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Sure, absolutely. There's no problem with that. You could have, I think one of the greatest myths that people have in life insurance, or even in underage health insurance, under 65, is that, oh, I had pneumonia, or I had a kidney removed, or I had, whatever it might be. I mean, pick any subject, a colon, a bypass, heart surgery,
Cancer.
cancer. It's been 5 years. I can't get insurance. That's not true. You can. Some cases it'll be rated up. In many cases it won't be. But you won't know if you don't ask. And you'll be surprised the length and effort agents will go to, any agent, not just us, but all the guys like to write insurance, and they will try and do their very best to get that case issued at the best price so you can afford it and they can get the commission. It's just that simple.
Basic
they work for
human
you.
greed, yes.
Yeah, they work for you. They work for you. They want you to have the coverage. So what you have to do is, just give us the name of the physicians, or if it's to make it simple, bring the reports in with you.
Trial app? Is that what they used to call a trial app?
Well, you can actually send in a trial app, but you can send those in, the apps, with the physician's reports without money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's no coverage bound. The man said, how soon can you do it? We have had life insurance policies issued as quickly as 10 days.
Yeah.
I've had some that have drawn out 3 months. It depends. If they sit on the doctor's office desk, the people call me and say, Bob, where's the app?
Where's the insurance?
Where's the policy, okay? Where's the policy? And you go, call your physician, call Dr. Jones, Dr. Smith, and Dr. Brown, and tell them to fill out the attending physician reports and mail them back to the company. The company pays them to do that, Stuart. They'll give them $25 just to fill out the report.
And
And if the doctor's busy and
they
it's
are
in the bottom of the pile.
historically slow
Oh.
in filling out those attending physicians. Why? Remember, you're not the only patient of that doctor. He's got a stack on his desk that
That
big.
high.
And unless you call him and ask him to take it out of there and move it up there, then you will be a bottom man on the totem pole, so to speak.
Well, that's what people run up against, and that's the reason I say if you want to put in, like what you very appropriately said, was a trial app, bring the attending physician's report in. You don't need it on everyone you had a cold with. And the man that called previously, his concern was the heart bypass. And it depends. There's some people who have double and triple bypasses, and they're very serious. Other people, it's not serious at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a situation where they haven't shortened their lifespan. If you look at a man, and all the insurance companies concerned about in reference to impaired health for life insurance, Stuart, is this going to limit this man's average male lives to be 73 years old? Now, he's had triple bypass, he's 50. Has this impaired his health so that he is going to live a shorter period of time then? If so, they are going to generate a greater amount of premium instead of promulgating his life to be another 23 years long and taking the premium across 23 years. They say, okay, that's going to take 10 years off his life, this particular impaired health situation. Let's double the premium so we get the same amount of money for the exposure we have. And that's what rating up is all about.
Where does Equifax come into this?
Equifax primarily are the people that find out if you're alive. They're the people that find out if you're who you say you are, if you live where you say you do, if you have good credit or bad credit. And you may say, why does the life insurance company want to know all this?
Well, if an application for insurance, now first you've mentioned the application, that's number one thing.
Number one thing, got to fill out the app.
Then if you list a doctor as a reference, then we have to go to the doctor. That's
Second on the list.
attending physician
Right.
statement. The third thing, do they always do what they call an Equifax, or is that?
They'll do an Equifax on anything usually over about $25,000. Over about $25,000. The reason is Equifax comes down to this. First of all, they want to find out that you're a real person. There are people who have been known to take dead people's Social Security numbers, find them off a roll after they've appeared in the obituaries, or the OBs as they're called in the business. And what happens is they insure people that don't exist. Because who's going to check and see if it's really that person who you say you are? Someone has to verify that if you have a dishonest agent or agent who doesn't know
Dead people?
Dead people. That's right. They actually have had cases where people who have died years ago were issued life insurance policies. Then they submit a forged, death certificate, and then the check is issued to the person, wife, widow, whomever the beneficiary was named as.
Dead people, huh?
Dead people, and then it's done.
Wow.
Plus,
You
they want to
didn't hear
make
that.
sure it's.
You didn't hear that over the TV,
It's
right?
true.
You didn't
Plus, you know what another big problem is? They had a company that and put $1 million on 8 different people. Come to find out, they were affiliated with the mob, and these people were all runners for,
The mob?
Yeah, the mob. And the mob had set these guys up to be hit. And so they got hit about
No,
the 4th
come
time.
on.
No,
No,
true story.
no.
True story. God is my witness. True story. It's really true, folks. So in the future, when you come out and let's say that you own let's say you and I own a business. You and I own Bob and Stu's Auto Parts.
I'm glad it was automobile. Okay.
Auto Parts, okay? And I bring the life insurance man in and I say, I'd like to buy some Key Man insurance on Stuart. And the guy says, great, how much do you want? I said, oh, $3 million. The guy says, well, it's kind of a small shop here. You think $3 million is kind of a lot? I mean, Stuart, that valuable to you? You only have, sometimes it's a small amount. I said, no, business is going to boom. Stuart's a great guy. If I didn't have him, I couldn't even have a little business we got. So I want $3 million on him. The guy says, oh, okay. And they said, well, let's bring Stuart in here, get him to sign up. I said, well, I really don't want to tell Stuart about this. Because what happens, a lot of times, they'll try. It happens. It happens in life insurance. They'll insure people, or they'll bring him in and say, yeah, old Bill's so valuable.
Valuable.
We want to have him insured. The guy signs up, and then they have him hit, and his partner takes the money. It happens in life insurance. It really does. So that's what Equifax does. They verify that you want to buy it on a person that's alive. They want to verify that you want to buy it for the right reason, the reason stated on the application, because there's many different types of insurance. How does that help you?
Now I understand all about life insurance.
Now you know. Now you know.
By the way, I want to ask out there, is there a fellow out there, and this is a true story, is there a fellow out there named Bill Burkett, B-U-R-K-E-T-T? If there is, who lives at McHenry Terrace, is that?
Yeah, McHenry Terrace.
In Seminole, you are the winner for the week of a dinner for 2 at Fuji Steakhouse. Either call me up, call Bob up, or we'll send it out to you, and I'll try to get in touch with you in the next couple of days. It says you can be reached between 8 and 10 p.m. Now,
we're home in bed then.
we work late, 8 to 8. But Bill, come on, you are the winner for 2 this week. Congratulations, and there was an Edna before, and
Ruth, I think it was
Ruth
Ruth.
for
We've had
previous
this our third winner.
Third winners.
Stuart, how would you win this? How would you win this?
We'd win this by being a family member. No, you can't win if you're a family member.
No, you can't win, Stuart. How would everyone in the viewing audience get a chance to win a dinner for 2?
If you noticed, you can't see it, but dinner for 2, weekly drawing, Home Shopping Insurance Inc. You come into the mart when you're picking up your merchandise, and while you're waiting those 3, 4, 5 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, whatever it is you're waiting for your merchandise to be picked up. You mosey on over to the insurance desk and you see this drawing for 2. And it says, I am interested in auto, high risk, motor, homeowners, flood, business. And it's 14 different little boxes here. You check a box off, you fill your name, phone number, address, hours you can be reached. Once a week, every Monday it's been, we pulled it out and announce it here. So Bill Burkett, watch out.
Have dinner on us.
Have dinner on us.
Thank you, Stuart.
All right.
Stuart, one of the services we offer that we really, I don't think we've only talked about it one time. You think in a year and a half I would have talked about everything on this show that I could imagine. I haven't. But we'll get to it if we get to stay on the air long enough. Unless you've received any memos that I don't know.
No memos. We're still on.
We're still on. Our show was renewed. A lot of people have homes. You have a home, I have a home. But one of the services that we offer with our companies is we have the ability to actually appraise the home for the person at what we consider to be the replacement cost value of the home. Not the cost of the land and not the cost of what you could sell it on today's market with depreciation because it's 5 or 7 or 3 years old, but actually if you had to go out and build yourself a new one, because if your house burns down, your house is about as old as mine, about 3 years old. That's what mine is. Mine's 3 years old this month. I don't want the house depreciated 10% or taken off of the fact that something's old in the house. I want a brand new house, just like the one I got 3 years ago. And we have an appraisal form. I don't know if you can see if we have one here, that we do for all the homes, and we'll give you a good idea of exactly what your house is worth so that you can insure it for the proper amount. Because let's say you're insured and Stewart for $70,000 and your house is worth $80,000. You say, well, that's not so bad. I'm going to be $10,000 short. However, you know, the increase in cost insured from $70,000 to $80,000 may only be as little as $7, $8. You get that extra $10,000 worth of coverage.
If I have a house
Okay.
that, not counting the land,
Not counting the land.
and this is just if they raise it from the land up. Now,
Yeah, people don't steal the land. It doesn't burn. It doesn't blow away.
No sellers included.
No.
Just from, all right. It's $70,000, and
Right.
you're saying that if it's increased the last 3 years, replacement value is now $80,000. That I could be out $10,000, but it only cost me $7.
$7 to $8, about all it would be. As a matter of fact, if I can find the forms, I can tell you exactly how much.
Does that sound right? I mean,
Yeah, no, it is.
$70,000,
Hold on,
$80,000,
I'll tell you.
$7.
I'll tell you. If you had, depends on the company, American Liberty would be about 10. Here, we'll split the difference with them. Let's say you had it at 70, and of course, now you get an extra 5,000 on the contents, okay? Which, because you get 50% of that. But here it's, with the smoke alarm credit and everything, take off 20%, be about $13. $13.
So, if I paid $13, I wouldn't be on the hook for $10,000.
Exactly right. Exactly
But
right.
would I really be on the hook for $10,000?
Well, there's a co-insurance clause there that would affect you. If it was a total loss, you'd definitely be on the hook for $10,000 because it pays. There's a clause, or not a clause. There's a law called the Florida Value Policy Stated Law, and that means if you have a total loss, and the policy says $50,000 on the building, $20,000 on the contents, that is the maximum amount you can receive.
Would you suggest, I have $70,000 policy. All right, let's go back. This is just a for instance. I can't afford a $70,000 policy. If I had a $50 or $100 deductible, would you suggest that I raise my deductible to like $250?
Oh, sure, because you
And then
can take the savings and buy yourself either higher liability limits or, as we were talking about here, more property coverage. Because you can save somewhere between 15–20% just by raising the deductible, because that eliminates the company from processing the small claim. It's the small claim that the company's worried about. It costs just as much to process a $200 claim as it does a $20,000 claim.
You mean to tell me that the people watching now, that they, whether it's with us or not, that they could call their agents and say, I want to save 15 to 20% off my homeowners, raise my deductible?
If the company that they're with and the company their agent represents allows for the higher deductibles. Some companies do, some companies don't. The companies we represent do, but I can't speak for all companies and all agents. But in our agency, yes, you could. And I would imagine in most agencies you could.
Well, why? Why do you suppose someone would have a $100 deductible instead of a $250 deductible and then keep limits?
Low on liability or low
Yeah.
on property.
Yeah.
I think it boils down to two things. One, people don't read their policies. People don't review their homeowners' policies because either they're in a situation where the policies are renewed by the bank, they're escrowed, and they're not terribly expensive. So therefore, they cost $175, $200, $150. Homeowners insurance is really not that expensive. Since the bank's renewing them and they're not paying for it themselves, they just let it renew, and the people that are paying it don't check their coverages.
The banks? Wait a minute, if the banks have my policy, how can I get it out of there?
Well, no, the bank has a copy of the policy, and you have a copy of the policy. What I'm saying is you don't pay for the policy personally. You're not actually writing the check. If you're
Yeah.
writing the check yourself, you go, okay, Ruth, it's $186 this year, and you write that check for $186, there's a tendency to review the product that's costing you $186. However, if it's paid monthly and escrowed by your mortgage company, you sit there and you go, oh, the mortgage people renewed the insurance. Isn't that great, Ruth? And you don't ever get a chance to look at your policy. Key is, look at your policy, because remember, it may be the biggest investment you have.
It's certainly protected the biggest, one of the biggest.
Oh, sure. I mean, not most people aren't in business for themselves. Most people own homes. I mean, that's their single biggest investment line.
Now, I had someone call me and say, they said, Stuart, I don't know where my policy is. All I do is I know that I pay the bank $15 a month and I have my home insurance paid. What are some of the drawbacks? First of all, can I get a hold of that policy?
Sure can. Well, I'm sure the agent originally gave them a policy, if only it was just a copy. However, what you can do is you can ask the agent for another copy. A copy of the deck sheet is what we call it. It actually describes the coverages that are currently in force. And if you get a copy of that, we can certainly go over it. Now, if you go back to your original policy, and you know, even if it's 2 or 3 years old, at least we have some idea of what you have. But you know, it's a big investment, and you all need to take time to shop and compare. But before you shop and compare, you got to know what you have, so you know what you're comparing and you know what you're shopping. What? Same old theory.
I mean, it's like going out and shopping for a shirt.
Exactly the same way. But you've got to know the fabric, the color, and the price. And in insurance, you've got to know the coverages, the cost, and what you didn't buy. Because in insurance, you know what you have and you know what it costs. But in insurance, you got to know the other thing, what you didn't have offered to you. Okay?
Okay.
You know what?
What?
We're all out of time. We're all out of time.
It was just 5 o'clock.
I know. Wasn't this fun? We want to thank everybody that called. That was great. We want to remind everybody that Christine will be back in just about 4 or 5 minutes and have, I'm sure, another super show for you from 5:30 to 7:30.
Are you gonna mention Hawaii?
No, I'm gonna mention Hawaii. That's Stuart's job.
Don't mention Hawaii, because if you mention Hawaii,
all the lines light up.
My gosh, 51 lights.
51 lights just happened.
I don't even know if she's gonna take your call.
I don't know either. Stuart, thanks for being
All
here.
right.
See you tomorrow.
Right on.
Y'all be good. Good night.
Health, Life, Home, and Auto. In Shopping Mart, call 535-0787.
For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a between-meal snack, why not try a delicious New York-style bagel? Baked fresh daily at the Bagel Mart. Here you'll find regular, plain, poppy, sesame, onion, garlic, cinnamon raisin, pumpernickel, and
The person to talk to. Well, we're just about out of time. I got just a minute or two left because we're having Christina come back. She's going to be back on in just a few minutes. And going to save you all kinds of money. As a matter of fact, she's already here.
I'm ready.
She's
Were
already.
you waiting for me to come in?
We've been waiting
show
for
up?
it. Yeah, no, we're waiting for it. We were just sitting here waiting for it. So I'll tell you what, if you'll stay tuned for about a couple of minutes after the commercial break, Christine will be back, and you're on from 5:30 to
7:30.
to 7:30, and she's going to save you hundreds,
much?
millions, squillions, zillions of dollars, lots of money.
You know,
Not all-
Gillians is actually a.
Gillions is more?
It's actually
A word?
an amount. Yes.
Is it really?
Gillians.
How much is a
Not
gillion?
quite sure.
I'm not sure. I'll have to break out my Webster dictionary and find out. So if everyone will stay tuned, Christina will be back, and you're going to save some money. So on behalf of myself, everybody at Home Shopping Insurance and Home Shopping Channel, have the nicest of days, and we'll be back here tomorrow, 5 to 5:30. In the meanwhile, stay tuned for Christina because she has some very nice items for you. So stay tuned. Bye for now.
Join us Monday through Friday from 5 to 5:30 for Insurance Open Line. Brought to you in cooperation with Home Shopping Insurance, a full-service insurance agency for health, life, home, and auto. In the Home Shopping Mart, call 535-0787.